Hi, everybody. Alexia and I welcome you to our podcast, and we're continuing a very, very fascinating series on stress. And Alexia mentioned that sugar is one of the biggest stresses on the body. And for those of you who have just turned in, is all we said yesterday was that the historical context was this incredible demand for sugar around the world. And the Americas, when they opened up in the age of exploration, was the perfect climate for the huge sugar plantations, which we still have today. And why was there such a demand for tremendous amount of sugar on the world stage? And the bottom line is that it is highly addictive. And from an economic point of view, you have repeat sales ad infinitum. So is the addictive quality to sugar is really the key to the story. And as we mentioned yesterday, yes, cocaine, white cocaine is addictive, white heroin is addictive, and white sugar is addictive. Now, sugar, of course, is not as bad as cocaine and heroin, but the catch is it hits the pleasure center in the brain. And then on a physiological level, everyone knows this, the blood sugar, glucose, goes up. And then Mother Nature, in her infinite wisdom, if she could express it, she'd say something like this: blood sugar, you're much too high. Get back where you belong. And you belong in the two big bank accounts. Number one, the liver, and number two, the 640 muscles of the body. That's where the sugar should be stored. But is the blood sugar gets so high that results in what everyone knows, diabetes. But here is the real big medical breakthrough. Okay, this is really the heart of the story, is that one of the best medical schools in the world, Stanford Medical School, around 1980s, the head of the Department of Endocrinology, fancy name for hormones, okay, Dr. Raven, he makes this observation, and this is really thinking outside the box, is that if a patient presents themselves, let's just say with high blood pressure, he's got these great statisticians and he sees an incredible linkage. Basically, if they have high blood pressure, it's going to be linked to obesity, to cardiovascular disease of all kinds, to stroke, okay? And he notices this incredible linkage with all these different diseases, including diabetes. So what Dr. Raven does is he puts in the medical literature syndrome X, meaning that there's this linkage there of this syndrome, but he doesn't know the cause, emphasizing that it's a syndrome, but he doesn't know what the root cause is. Well, here is the real beauty of the story. 2 years later, he works out the root cause, and the root cause is one disease, okay? Too much insulin in the blood. And that is called hyperinsulinemia. Hyper, high, insulin, emia, the suffix is always blood. But the fascinating thing from a medical point of view, all those big five that we mentioned, your obesity, your high blood pressure, your cardiovascular disease, your stroke, okay, and your diabetes are just five different symptoms of the same disease. Again, what's the disease? Too much insulin in the blood. And is of the three big food groups, okay, your protein, your carbs, your fats, we all know that, okay, is it's only the refined carbs which spike the insulin. Fats do not give a insulin response. Protein is so small, it's no big deal, but it's only the refined carbs which spike the insulin, and there you go, metabolic syndrome. Okay, so is, like we say all the time, is Alexia loves to give out practical pointers. I tend to be a little theoretical, and here are two big pointers that Alexia will give you for the day regarding the prevention of the metabolic syndrome. Okay, pointer number one, like Alexia says, okay, is she says you could have carbohydrates. Carbohydrates themselves are not the problem. Alexia says it's the form in which carbohydrates are taken. So, for example, yesterday, Alexia made the point of if you're having fruits, you're much better off with the whole apple than apple juice. If you're having vegetables, like Alexia says, is salads have carbohydrates and the refined pastas carbohydrates. But carbohydrates are not the problem per se. If you're having the salad, it's replete with fiber. And fiber slows down the absorption so it doesn't shock the system and spike the insulin. Okay, whereas the pasta will. So for fruits and vegetables, which both have carbs, it's the form in which you take it. So the key thing, like Alexia says, is fiber, 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 just like in real estate, location, location, location. And not only is the fiber the best preventive medicine for metabolic syndrome, one of which includes diabetes, but the fiber is your key to healthy microbiome. And we did about 3, 4 podcasts on the microbiome. And the microbiome is this chemical factory of bacteria, which produces all these incredible beneficial chemicals, including serotonin, the feel good chemical, GABA, the relaxation and help you sleep chemical, and including many different chemicals for the brain. So you get a double benefit. So, like Alexia says, you get the benefit of precluding the metabolic syndrome by the fiber, and then having a healthy microbiome. What could be better than that? And the final pointer, pointer number 2 from Alexia for today, is proportionately, if you start to increase the healthy fats at the expense of the refined carbs, then you're in business. And what are the healthy fats? Well, Lexia says the healthy fats would be like avocado, okay, olive oil, omega-3. So the more you have of those, the less you will have of the refined carbs. So is Alexia and I thank you so much for having us today, and we will look forward to continuing the series tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye-bye.